Good morning. Before we get started, please like and subscribe. Please share my channel. Please comment whether you agree with me or not. I am heading into the office. It's Friday. I'm going the opposite direction because I stopped at my son's house first. So this is the route that I used to take. I call it the good way. I'm not coming from the city, so the traffic isn't as bad this way. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about what's called entropy, which is basically the breakdown of particles or matter, the breakdown of things as they expand. Entropy, that's the simple kindergarten version of a description of entropy. But what it really is kind of the decay. As time goes on and as particle and matter become expanded or further away or further and further apart, they become unstable. It becomes unstable. For instance, when a star explodes, the star is a compact star, and then it explodes, and all the particles scatter out into the universe, and the further they get out into the universe, the more unstable that whole thing is. They become weaker and weaker as they go further and further away from what they used to be, the very tight-knit, closely bonded particles. They become further and further apart. So that star is no longer stable. It becomes weaker and weaker as time goes on until those particles are so far few and far between that you can't even tell it was ever a star. And that happens in the human body. Our bodies decay, they break down over time. We don't get younger and younger and stronger. We get more weak, and it happens in societies as well. And what I wanted to talk a little bit about are the things that go on in society that can cause the demise of an entire civilization. When civilizations are started, when they're created with the best of intentions. They're created with, there are a lot of positive things that go on when a society or when a country or any kind of civilization starts, because in the beginning, the idea is that there will be rules and laws, and there will be order, and there will be fairness and equality. And when something is started, people begin wanting it to really to succeed. And as time goes on, though, negative factors start to influence societies, and that's how civilizations end up disappearing, because you can only have so many negative things taking place, and then at some point it's all going to come to an end. It's going to implode. It'll self-destruct. So the reason that I'm bringing this up is that a lot of people are talking about the United States and what's going on in the world right now, what's going on with currency, what's going on with politics, what's going on with money, the transfer of wealth. That happened a long time ago, to where the rich got richer and the poor got poorer, and it just seems to be getting worse and worse. It doesn't seem to be getting better. There are a lot of negative factors involved. There are a lot of scams. There's a lot of greed. There's a lot of nefarious activity taking place in the world today, and it doesn't seem to be getting better. In fact, it's becoming worse at a very rapid pace. Now, we can look at that as, oh, I should be afraid because everything's going to end, or we can look at that as, this is exciting because everything's going to end. When you have a breakdown of something, it's because there's going to be a rebuilding. The Bible's very clear that there will be a new heaven and a new earth. The Bible's very clear that the wheat will be separated from the chaff. And the Bible is very clear that there's a heaven and a hell, that the two worlds will not stay together forever, that they will split off, and that we as light beings, as the stardust that we're made of, we have the opportunity to be able to go into a better place, a better civilization, or a better world, or a better experience. Or we can be either trapped or stuck in the experience that's not fun at all. The experience that's not fun at all, the Bible defines it as hell, and it's a burning, the Bible describes it as like an endless, the Bible doesn't say we burn, by the way, in hell, like by fire. It just says it's like an endless thing that you just get trapped in, you can't get out of it. But I tend to look at a little bit, well, a lot lately. I've looked at Eastern religion, Eastern philosophies, and the fact that they describe that continuous, you just keep going into a new life and a new life and another one until you learn. I did a video about do-overs the other day, and it makes me think that as civilizations end and new civilizations begin, if there is such a thing as going back into another civilization or another time frame or another lifetime and continuing to live this kind of experience until we get it right, that would mean that life is just one big do-over. And until we are enlightened, some people say that we continue, we live, we die, we have experiences over and over and over. And with each experience, we're supposed to get it just a little bit more. We're supposed to get it. And what is it? What are we supposed to get? We're supposed to get that we are one. Who and what we are made of, what we are, where we came from, and the fact that we're bound by love. We are love and light, and we're living an experience. And when I think the more times we go through this experience, if reincarnation, if that's true, and it's not reincarnation as far as plunking down into a body, it's reincarnation. When Jesus said you'll have a new body, why would Jesus say you'll have a new body? If we're spiritual beings and the Holy Spirit is spiritual, why would we get a body? Why would he say that? Why would we get a new body? What's the body for? It's maybe so we can live in another experience. Like maybe we'll die and basically what happens is this experience disappears. Like we wake up from a dream and then we go back into another dream state and live a whole other lifetime in another body. And from what the Bible describes, the body that we live in is the one we look like now. I mean, this is who we are. I'm not going to look like George in my next life. I'm not going to look like Pete. I'm not going to look like Susie or Sarah. I don't know why I picked those names. Those are like really old names. But anyway, you know what I'm saying. I'm not going to be somebody else. I'm going to be me. I will continue to be me in whatever life I'm in. But, that's just something to explore. Again, as always, I'm not trying to tell you what to think. I'm not trying to tell you the way it is. I don't know the way it is. I don't know for sure. I'm not trying to say that I know it all and you know nothing. So I'm telling you. I'm asking you, what do you think? Do you think that's possible? That when this experience is over, we get a new body because we're going to wake up born into a new experience and we're going to live another lifetime? Like maybe the ancient Mayans, maybe their civilization disintegrated and they disappeared. And maybe the people that were Mayans living in those Mayan bodies, maybe they're walking around, they have new bodies, and now they're in our experience. Now they're maybe a banker, or maybe they work in the checkout line at your grocery store, one of those Mayans or one of those Egyptians that built the pyramids. Who knows? But it's interesting to think about that, because why would Jesus say we get a new body? That just made me think. But things do split. Things split off. The positive and the negative cannot stay together forever. They just can't, because of entropy. Things are breaking down. Things are breaking apart. And things are eventually going to implode. And eventually this civilization that we know is going to have rust and plants growing through it. And we're just going to self-destruct at some point, because you cannot sustain unless you love. We would have to have everybody loving one another to sustain. And we don't. We do not have everyone loving one another. We have a lot of people who are selfish and unkind and greedy and mean-spirited. Until you have everyone loving one another, you're not in that there's a new heaven and a new earth. When Jesus said there will be a new heaven and a new earth, I am starting to think that we get do-overs, that we will live another lifetime until we understand who and what we are and become enlightened. So wanted to share that. That's just food for thought. Again, me thinking. That's just me thinking. It's what I do. But if you have any comments, if you have any, opinions or something, if you believe something different, or if you want to add to that, please let me know. Just share in the comments. I'm going to get into the office now, but I hope you're all having a great day, and I will see you next time.